There's this police officer, man, named Van Dyke. What is his full name? Van Dyke. He killed a brother a few years back. I believe this happened in 2018, and they charged him. They federally charged him. They found him guilty. He was sentenced to 6 years in prison, but he got out in 3.
Yeah, got out just in February.
How do you get 50% in the feds? I thought the feds was 85%.
No, it was a state case.
You sure that was a state case?
I'm almost positive that was a state case.
Okay, I thought it was a fed case because I'm a little confused because now they want the feds to charge him.
Now they want the feds to charge. See, it was a state case. Now they want the feds to charge him. He got 81 months in the state.
Yeah.
Which was not nearly enough because if you see the video clip of this boy, he lied for one, but he murdered this kid, man. I mean, he could have shot this kid one time, Alex. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And he shot him 16 times, emptied the clip on the guy, you know, and I mean, just murdered the guy. So they did end up filing murder charges on him. He did get found guilty, and they gave him 81 months because they gave him the second degree. Now, the problem that I have with that is if you look at the video, the kid had a 3-inch knife, you know. And yes, he was on drugs, but he had a 3-inch knife. And where they lied at, the officer said that he lunged at him. But if you look at the video, which came out later because they didn't put the video out, you know, while they were making these excuses. When they finally put the video out, man, the kid was 15, 20 feet away from him and they shot him, emptied the clip on him, man. It was real sad. But on the federal side, they wanted to, since he only did 3 years off of 6, which he should have did just 30 off of 60, you know what I mean, for this murder. The family and other people wanted the feds to come pick it up and retry him on it, and that's what was going on.
All right, I was confused for a minute because I thought initially the feds charged him, and I'm like, well, if the feds charged him the first time, why didn't they add that civil rights violation charge in it originally? So I got it now. He got prosecuted by the state. He got out. They want the feds to charge, but the feds are saying...
Well, the feds are saying this. The feds are saying that it would have been harder to get a conviction in the feds because they have a higher level of degree of what you need evidence. So, but the family, a lot of the family members were saying, yeah, we want the feds to retry and refamily. But the uncle, he's a reverend. The uncles came and said that, listen, we really don't want the feds to retry him because if the feds retry him and convict him, guess what's going to happen to hundreds and hundreds of black men now? They're going to start getting them out the states, retrying them, and they really going to have a ball. That was the uncle ideology, that this is going to really backlash on to young black men. And he was the one who told the family to eventually start to tell the feds that, listen, we not going to push for the retrial, you know.
Yeah, because the federal offense would be violating the civil rights of Mr. Laquan, what's his name? Laquan McDonald. Because technically, any of us can get charged with violating someone's civil rights if we shoot, hurt, assault, kill. And if the state prosecutes us, that's supposed to end our case.
Right.
This is when we talked about that double jeopardy.
Double jeopardy, I was going to mention that, yeah.
And you know, they did it with the dudes who beat up Rodney King. They beat the state case. And, you know, I was all for those cops going to prison, but I'm scared of this double jeopardy.
Right.
When the feds can come in and charge you with a slightly different offense, but for the same thing, that's scary to me.
Well, that's what the uncle was scared of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I agree with the uncle on that. But I'm disappointed that a dude only does 40 months in jail, which is what, 12, 24, 36,
that's
3 years and 4 months. Right. That ain't nothing.
No, that ain't nothing. that
I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm laughing because I'm just shocked.
Well, that's the thing about it. I read the article a few times, read a few articles on it, was disappointed. But it wasn't until I saw the video that I was hurt. You know what I mean? I'm talking about it kind of like, you know what I mean? And I'm not an emotional guy like that. I'm talking about, man, when I saw this kid, how they did this kid, man, even the other officer had to tell, because dude went to reload his gun, the other officer had to tell, oh, hey, hold it. You know what I mean?
That's crazy.
You know, not to mention, this cop, do you have the cop's name right there? I knew it for a second, but...
Van Dyke.
Van Dyke also had complaints of racial slurs, pulling guns out on people, pointing them at them in situations that didn't need to be. He had 15 complaints on him and was never reprimanded for not a single one of them.
That's unbelievable. I'm about to put a picture of Officer Van Dyke, Jason Van Dyke, on the Street.TV Instagram page for those who want to get a look at this crazy cop. What's really crazy is that there were a bunch of cops on the scene, but he's the only one that shot.
Look, there was cops on the scene 10 minutes before he got there. Within 6 seconds of him getting out his vehicle, within 6 seconds of him getting out his vehicle, he killed his kid, man.
Yeah, this is definitely a case where this one cop went rogue.
One cop went rogue. The other cops followed this kid down the street, kind of corralled him into where, like, a area where he wouldn't, hurt nobody else. He was on drugs, you know what I mean? Had a 3-inch knife, 20 feet away, and you fear for your life. You know what I mean? Not to mention when you go back, because once you shoot this kid, they're gonna go back and look at your file. You have 15 unanswered complaints. Now that part right there, I believe, falls on the department. This guy got all kind of complaints, and you didn't address any of them. Now he killed a kid, and you guys have all this information, and you give him 81 months in the state, which in different states, you only gonna do so much time. Man, that was a real foul play right there.
Yeah, and this is an old case. This happened in 2014. They charged the cop in 2018. And the reason why we're talking about it now is because the federal government just announced that they will not seek out federal charges against Officer Jason Van Dyke. And I'm kind of like mixed feelings about it, because I don't like the federal government coming in and charging people again for the same exact thing.
Well, you know what? I can't say that. I agree with you 100% on that. At the same, I didn't want to see him get reconvicted. I wanted to see him get the time the first time.
Or at least he got 6 years. Well, I don't know how Illinois does their prison sentence. I guess they do 50%.
Well, they should have gave him 20 and make him go do 10. To go do 3 years. Listen, if you didn't have the video, you didn't have the knowledge to understand how everything went, that's one thing. But when it's clear, man, just because you're a cop don't make it right or don't make it better. Because anybody else would have, hey, man, that was crazy.
16 times the brother was shot. He emptied out the whole magazine.
He dropped him with the first shot if you look at the video.
Thanks for watching this video clip of Streets and Scholars podcast with Alex, Alonso, and FG. If you want to listen to the entire episode, go to your favorite podcast platform and type in Streets and Scholars. But we're available on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and Spotify. And thanks for listening to another episode of Streets and Scholars.